Housing demand weakens. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. I'm still working my way through my stein of coffee, and I thought we'd have a look at this article from realestate.com.au, originally from the Daily Telegraph. It's an interesting one. Demand for new housing remains weak after the pandemic. Well, I think it's probably a bit presumptuous to say that the pandemic has come to an end, but the decline in demand for housing, I don't know if anyone is going to be surprised by that. Although, well, depending on all those articles we're reading about, people buying property above reserve, pent-up demand. I think pent-up demand and probably search results, they're my two favorite things. Search traffic is up and pent-up demand. Pent-up demand. Anyway, building approvals, they have climbed up. Private sector house approvals have shot up in the last data we received in April. Dwelling units are all over the place. But approvals don't necessarily get built, everyone. They don't necessarily get built. You can get your approvals, you can see how it goes. And I wonder if the Homebuilder scheme that they've implemented, the 25 grand, to encourage construction, I wonder if we'll see an impact of that. What's got me scared is the changes to directors' personal liability for trading while insolvent. Those rules have been kind of suspended for a while. So I'm waiting to see what happens after, well, probably New Year, to be honest. We've got construction work here. And I was, quite tempted, but, I think I'll take it a little bit slower. And we'll just chip away at things ourselves for now. So let's have a look. I need a shot of coffee. There we go. Let's get into it. Residential construction certainly plays a vital role in supporting jobs both on and off building sites across Australia. It is the second largest economic multiplier of the 114 industries that make up the Australian economy, according to a new analysis. 9 jobs are supported across the economy for every $1 million spent on residential construction, a recent report found. And that's why our government always goes to housing, goes to property, goes to construction. It's just what they do, because you get bang for buck. That's why, pardon me, one of the advantages of Homebuilder is that for every $25,000 they're giving to someone, they have to spend another $150,000 of their own dollars, their own cash, to get the project going. For us, the example would be, we plan to lift our Queenslander, got to redo the gutters, put a slab underneath, and eventually build underneath it. We want to essentially double the size of our house. So, if I were to get the 25 grand, I would have had to spend more money to do all of those extra things. And that gets more bang for your buck, more economic activity, more people employed. Well, you hear everyone, and particularly in my profession, they all just default social housing. We need more social housing, Where social housing, okay, there's that initial spend. But for every $25,000 of government spending, you only get $25,000 of economic activity. They need to partner with other private organisations. And we just saw recently the failure here in Queensland of schemes like that, where the government tried to partner with developers to create subsidised housing. No one's jumped at it. It's taken 2 years and nothing's happened. Maybe because, there's no money in it. I'd argue it's better to reduce the demand for social housing than build more social housing. Reduce the economic burden on people, create more economic opportunities, create more chances so people can work, so you're not dependent on the state. But these are all radical ideas. Independence and self-reliance. We can't have that now. The snowflakes will get angry. Honestly, I think Australia's got more snowflakes than some Northern European countries. The data came from the National Housing Finance and Investment Corporation's research unit, which found residential construction contributes around 5% to GDP, accounting for 134,000 jobs. But recent insights from internal discussions within the Reserve Bank of Australia have highlighted the looming risks as demand for new housing remains weak given the pandemic. This will weigh on construction activity and then cash flow. beyond the current pipeline of builders for around 4 to 9 months. There have only been isolated reports of supply chain disruptions. But builders have started to report that banks and non-bank financiers have become more conservative in their lending. There have been sharp falls in new home sales, inquiries, and foot traffic, the RBA noted. There have also been increases in contract cancellation rates, especially for new detached houses and greenfield land. So financial risks had increased for builders. The RBA also noted concerns about changes in contracted house and land buyers' financial circumstances and also possible valuation shortfalls driving up settlement failure rates. I mean, this is all coming together, isn't it, everyone? All of these things that could go wrong seem to be going wrong. You still have people thinking the market's going to go high. And on these spec homes, these builders don't make that much per house, guys. You'd be kind of shocked at how unprofitable or how low the profits can be on some of them. RBA economist Richard Evans anticipated the negative confidence shock could be higher than that experienced in the GFC. Wow, RBA is bad with made a wrong prediction. We've never seen that before. And everyone, this is my favorite wage price index forecast graph. Get your mug with it today. Although I need, it's all through Teespring. I need to find a cheaper way to get them made. Too expensive in the States. Anyway, RBA economist, yes, okay. The RBA analysis preceded the federal government's announcement on its 25,000 home builder grant. Well, there we go. We know why they're pushing for it. The average cost of building a new home is around $320,000. The program will offer up to 27,000 grants to eligible applicants to build a new home. The Homebuilder scheme, plus the first home loan deposit scheme, and the various state government stimulus programs will be important in mitigating the extent to which the downturn weighs on the economic recovery. Back at the work sites, the NHFIC noted of the total of 9 jobs, around 4 can be considered on-site jobs, while the remaining 5 can be considered off-site. And this is regard to the flow-on effect. And the average cost of building a new home is $320,000. Commenting on the research, NHFIC CEO Nathan Dalbon said understanding how residential construction activity may affect jobs and flow through to the broader economy was increasingly timely given the impact of the pandemic. There is data showing emerging job losses have already occurred in the construction industry following the onset of the pandemic. A recent ABS payroll data showed construction employment fell by 5.8% between March and May. And we're starting to see that. Even in the comments here, people are letting us know. I mean, if you're in the game, how are you what's going on, guys? Let us know. When are you in the specky game? You know, the little brick veneer trusses and tile jobs on the 450 blocks that are like 2 centimeters apart from each other, which are perfectly fine. Although I'd prefer a little bit of dirt around me. A little bit of dirt around me. They make them so close together. And the problem is then everyone just stays inside all the time. So you air condition them. You got these completely insulated boxes that you never leave. So you never talk to your neighbors. There's no community formed. The NHFIC's research unit established this year undertakes housing-related research and monitors housing demand, supply and affordability across Australia. The Build Job report found that $1 million of output in residential construction supports around $2.9 million of industry output and consumption in the economy. Related to other industries, residential construction activity has stronger economic spillover. And that's why we have this constant push for property. And that's why, sadly, because of the Cantillon effect, we will have a bubble in property. And I'll draw this to your attention if you're not familiar with it. The Cantillon effect refers to the change in relative prices resulting from a change in money supply. The change in relative prices occurs because the change in money supply has a specific injection point and therefore a specific flow path through the economy. And what are we talking about in this article? The benefits of this flow path through the economy. But the price we're paying is a housing, well, price inflation. And we can see, which is not really considered, I'll bring up property prices, which isn't really considered in the CPI numbers as well. So here we go, everyone. Here we go. Construction, well, demand is down. Will the home builder program step in? Have you noticed an increase? Are you in the game? Have you noticed an increase in demand for speckies or for homes? How's the pipeline going? Is it looking okay, or is it getting a bit quiet? Or do you have government work that's bringing it in? I saw a post on LinkedIn where someone was sharing advice from an architect, how to survive the recession. And I thought what was interesting was one was register for government work. Well, as always, please let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and want to help the channel, simply interact with the videos. That helps the algorithm and shares the content further and wider. If you want to support us that little bit extra, there are a few ways you can. You can join the channel on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us via using our affiliate links at Amazon or eBay or Independent Reserve and Kucoin. You can buy our merch from HeiseSays, use PayPass from Perth Mint, or use PayPal. Thanks, everyone. I'll see you in the next video.